Hello and welcome back to Amusements of Rapture. Today I'm going to give you some tips so that you can guess better in Geoguessr. I have some experience with the game. I'm sitting at almost 1000 ELO, which was maybe 1400, something like that, before the ELO reset. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. So first of all, we are in Argentina. A for Argentina. And if you see palms, you should probably go very north, or maybe a little northwest towards the Andes. With these specific palms, I think they're called Butia Yate palms, found in northeast Arge. Yeah, they're not super common, but here they are. They look like that. Next, okay, moving to Canada. If you see exposed rock like this, you will find it in these areas. Yeah, this is straight from Plonket. Some of these tips, metas will be. So go there if you are confused about anything. They have guides for each country. And yeah, as you can see, not really found in the plain states, of course, and not really found in BC, which is surprising. But yeah, exposed rocks. Next one, sticking with Canada, if you see fir trees, they look like Christmas trees, then you should be in East Canada. They're found all over the place, really, even extending into the plain states. Super common tree, especially common in the Newfoundland area, or island. They're quite abundant there. And French. So I think I used to believe French was only spoken in the province of Quebec in Canada. But of course, there are French speakers everywhere. And they're also found in New Brunswick. As you can see, French has an official status alongside English, so you can sometimes find bilingual signs in other parts of Canada. French is also spoken in several communities in Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Manitoba. So yeah, French, and seeing French is pretty safe for Quebec, but yeah, don't discard everywhere else just because of the French. Alright, next one. I think this is maybe one of the best metas for distinguishing America from Canada. If you see these kinds of trees, aspen trees, then you're going to want to go Canada. They feel like very cold trees, you know, whereas it's hotter in the States. So yeah, super good one for Canada. I don't feel like everyone recognizes them, so yeah, these trees with birch-like trunks are good to know. Alright, next one. Finland. It's not really a country I've looked at a lot, but I saw people talking about the fact that there's no antenna in some of the coverage. That's in this space here, this region. I can see the antenna behind the cross there, but it's talking about the fact that there's no antenna in some of the Gen 3 coverage, or all of the Gen 3 coverage. South to central Finland, yeah. Whereas there's an antenna here, which is southwestern. But it's kind of tilted. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever noticed that. Maybe I should look at the antenna in Finland, but you know, with car stuff, always use other stuff. Like these white outer lines are so Finnish, as well as the trees on most rounds. But let's get into the car stuff because it is part of the game and very useful. Gen 4 cars in Spain. This is all for Spain, by the way. Gen 4 cars are blue or less commonly black. The car can be completely hidden, yes. But I think I saved this because if you have an antenna in Europe, Spain is a possibility. Yes, it can have no antenna, but consider Spain. If it has an antenna, look, there's a long black antenna like in Russia. So yeah. Keeping with cars, I think that's an antenna there. And I saw this in the UAE. This is the UAE. And I noted that the UAE, like Oman, can have an antenna, which confused me because I only really associate an antenna with Oman. This antenna is bent to the right or to the east, like the Oman antenna. It was strange to see it in the UAE, but it seems like it appears there, even if it's rare. Oh, right. This is just another rare car, maybe, these days. It's like, is it Gen 3? I assume it's Gen 3. With this kind of winged car where, you can see the blurs of the wing mirrors. And this was just a Rio location in Brazil. Don't think it comes up too often, but yeah. And I don't know if everyone looks at these antennas. People definitely do, the higher ELO they have, but I've been trying to work out this vein on these antennas, for lack of a better word. You find this kind of antenna in Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Brazil, I believe. Don't think I'm missing any other countries there. But the vein, like little line, can be at the top, in the middle, and at the bottom. And I was trying to figure out which countries have it where. So, for example, in Ecuador, you only find the vein at the top and the bottom. And I've saved this image because I found it at the top in Colo too, Colombia. And it's a little at the bottom there as well. And I found the vein in the middle in Mexico and Colombia. So yeah, tell me if you find any patterns with this. I'm sure it's been studied. I don't know if it's on Plonk yet. But yeah, this kind of car meta can give you an advantage. I don't think one of the metas I've tried to learn for Ecuador makes sense. It's almost pointless, where if the vein's at the bottom of the antenna, you go south, and if it's at the top of the antenna, you go north. It's very unreliable. I think with some metas, you just have to test them out and see how reliable they are, in game, unless you want to play single player. But yeah, moving away from antennas, let's look at some cars. Striped car can be found in Argentina too. White, blue, white is typically found in Mexico, South Mexico, and not just South Mexico, because I think I saw Blinky talk about South Mexico, so I just thought like Yucatan and Campeche, but no, also like maybe up to the capital, Mexico City, you can find it. I'm not sure. I need a map. I need a JSON file to show me the distribution. But yeah, next one, Thailand also has this kind of car. I think this kind of car was like South American based before. It was found in Arge, definitely a lot. Still is, but like it's interesting to see it in Asia now. This was a Thailand location. The concrete here is pretty common in Thailand and other Asian countries. Same kind of car here, but blue, and this is the US. Hence the double yellow lines that you find there. Found in Canada as well, I believe. Yeah, so this is the front bonnet of the car, because we're driving right. Okay, same car, I believe. And this is New Zealand. This is straight from Plunkett. You have, I think the most useful one is Blurred, White and Blue, which is mostly South Island and Max North. Then here you can see Unblurred, White and Blue, found North and a little bit on the South Island as well. Yeah. And I found this car in Nepal once. Haven't explored a lot of Nepal, so don't know how common this car is, but yeah, it exists there, as well as like a really bright orange car. Once you see it, I don't think you can forget it. I don't forget it. It's orange, almost golden, and you find it in Nepal. It's on my previous tips videos, but yeah. And next one, Russia has a red car. No antenna. No long antenna, no short antenna. And I think it's pretty safe to go east. Just ignore the west. I mean, obviously there are regions of the west where it's found, but it's most common east. And when you're in the game, this feels pretty east to go here. As well as north. Can you see it's just going up here north? So if you see very northern looking cold vegetation, then, and it's got the red car, then yeah, you're safe for these roads probably, or just this one road that's going north. Okay, next one. Don't know how helpful this is, but try it. In Guatemala, if you see this line here on the top right bar of the car, the Google car, when you look down at it, then you're more likely to be in the west of Guatemala, and maybe up here as well. But then if you don't see that line there, or sorry, the line is on the other side here, I think that's the line there, then you're in the east. Yeah. If you use this, let me know. Do the pros use this? I don't know. Yeah. It can split the country in half, almost. Okay, this was a bit of a rare anomaly, but Hungary seems to have winter coverage. I think the most common places that you find winter coverage in Europe are Russia, like South Russia, Southwest Russia. Then also Bulgaria's being a very common country that you find it in, but it's dotted about in other places. It's just interesting to see it. Sometimes pretty rare to see it. Okay. Well, with that one, at least seeing it with these kind of like colors, you know, like very brown, no leaves on the trees, etc. That kind of winter coverage. This is Central Java in Indonesia. I think Indonesia is one of the most diverse places in the world, definitely in Asia. So if you're confused on around, then maybe just click Indonesia, you know, because there's a lot of different stuff going on there, vegetation-wise, tree-wise, plant-wise. And sticking with Indonesia, I saw this blur there, car blur, and I was wondering, is this small cam in Indonesia? I was confused. Haven't heard of it being found there before, but small cam is the latest version, latest camera version. Same quality as Generation 4, I believe. It's this high quality camera, but it's like cheaper and easier to use in some ways. Don't know the exact details, but yeah. We'll talk more about small cam in a bit. Okay, and a player talked to me while I was in a game about the satellite dishes and how if the satellites are pointing directly up at the sky, then that means you're closer to the equator, possibly. Really interesting meta, but yeah, if it's like pointing less directly, indirectly, then it's further away from the equator, possibly. Try that out yourself. Interesting one. And we're still in Indo. I think I used to believe that metal, like plain sheet metal roofs, were found only on Kalimantan. It's really not true. As you can see, it's the whole north of Indo, whereas Java Island in the south is more tiled. Tiles are much more common there. Still in Indonesia, and we have two kinds of attachments that you find on poles. So first one is like this triangular one, most common far west Java, some on Sumatra Island too. Then we also have this square attachment there. Found, is it Bali? I think it's Bali there. East Java, anyway, yeah. So a triangle one and a square one. Poles can definitely be useful in Indonesia. Sticking with poles, this is how to 50-50 Ireland and the UK. So Ireland can have like a bent wooden pole like this, but the UK one will be flat like that. Can you see the difference? Yeah. Can be super useful for identifying the UK over Ireland and vice versa. Look at the poles, look at the top of the poles for how they're shaped. Alright, next one. For some reason I've gone all this time playing Geoguessr and not really learnt these bollards. Maybe I thought they were Spanish bollards or Portuguese bollards, but these are Kazakh bollards. Yeah. I also think chevrons that are just orange and black are so common that it's difficult to narrow down the country sometimes. But anyway, yeah, these are Kazakh bollards. Orange reflector, white reflector. And in Kazakhstan, you can find these yellow boxes in the south. Can't believe that someone won a game with this meta, but these yellow boxes are connected to gas pipes outside houses in southern Kazakh cities. Yeah, so look out for them. Next one, pretty cool meta for Kenya. This is Kenya, and in this region, white flowers in large numbers can be found east of Chiulu Hills National Park. Yeah, pretty cool. And quite different compared to the rest of Kenya, you know? Lush. Going back to poles, we are in Croatia. And Italy and Croatia will have these kind of cylindrical poles where it gets narrower towards the top. Can you see it's fatter at the bottom? But they also have these in Croatia. These kind of hook poles with hooks on either side of the poles. Yeah. And it says somewhat similar to Latvian poles. And here we have Latvian poles with alternating hooks again. Also good for Bulgaria as well. So these are the countries you should consider. If you see alternating hooks, that's Bulgaria, Croatia, and Latvia. Lithuania in the Baltics has very different poles than Latvia. Frustrating, we have so many variations, but this is what they look like. Yeah, some of these look like Indian poles to me. But yeah, knowing a few poles in the Baltics will be useful. Next one, let's go to Asia for some poles. We are in Malaysia. And this is a great way to 50-50 where you are on Borneo Island, Malaysia, so not the mainland. You can look at the poles and yeah, know where you are. So this first one is found in the Sarawak area. And the second one can be found in the the Sabah area, northeast. So this one has like a bar underneath, whereas this one has like a thick bar connecting it to the horizontal bar. Then this one on the right, I was a bit confused about when I saw it in a round, because I didn't know whether it fit into the first one or the second one, but this was Sabah too, so the one found in the northeast. Yeah. Okay. Now over to New Zealand, and I think the fences in New Zealand are highly useful. It's surprising, but yeah, the fences are everywhere. And yeah, as you can see, it says wooden fences with a big gap in between them are most common on the South Island, as well as here in the north. And then fences with a big gap, but made of metal, are almost exclusive to the South Island, so that's useful. Yeah, North Island fences have smaller gaps between the posts, whereas South Island fences generally have wider gaps. So yeah, look out for that. Okay, I think I touched on this earlier, but chevron colors and combinations can be shared across different countries. So this one is found in Norway and Portugal. Now, these two countries have very different climates, so you should be able to 50-50 without these, but yeah, just take note. Both use the same colors. And over to something different now in Panama. I got this from MK, the pro player. It's on Plunkett. And yeah, it's talking about pole plates on Panama poles, the utility poles, and how you can 50-50 the country, split it in half. So here you can see vertical pole plates found in the east, whereas horizontal pole plates found in the west. Yeah, pretty useful if you know you're in Panama. Okay. Here is a location I had recently. It's a little rare, but you can have these like Chilean style poles in the Philippines sometimes, which is strange, but yeah. I think the pole top is actually Philippines, typically. So yeah, as well as combined with the landscape, doesn't look very Chilean really. So yeah, you've got to mix and match these metas, you know, what lines up, and if it doesn't line up, think again, you know. I had to think again here, thinking it was Chile. Like, is this really Chile? Someone's driving on the right. I mean, that's fine for Chile. But yeah, the landscape. This is actually the Philippines, and it's the most northern island in the Philippines. Yep. All right. And here, I saved this because of the poles. I usually associate wooden poles in Europe with, like, the UK, Ireland, maybe Greece, North Macedonia, but I saw wooden poles in Portugal as well, which seems a little rare. I mean, there's Portuguese here, which for you language experts should be obvious, as well as the orange tiled roof over there, maybe these trees as well. But yeah, here, this is an odd one. Sometimes you can find what looks like a Turkish bollard in Romania. Yeah, it's strange. But as it says here, Turkey has a very similar bollard. So they're not exactly the same. I don't know the difference. Maybe the Romanian bollards don't have the letters on the front like the Turkish ones do. But yeah, watch out for this rogue Turkish bollard in Romania. Next one, a good 50-50 for Singapore and Hong Kong are the signs. So on the right is a Hong Kong sign, on the left is a Singaporean sign. They are green and they are white, as you can see. Yeah. I think on either one they can just have English sometimes, but the color is the difference, and also the characters is the difference as well. Next one, let's talk a bit about small cam. So the Balkan countries, meaning Serbia, Montenegro, Albania, North Macedonia, all have small cam now, which is a major update. And so you do have to consider the Balkans. In Europe, if you see small cam, it's this kind of blur with a big circle and then a smaller circle, looks like a skull shape to me. Once you see it, you should remember it. Just type in small cam map or something on Geoguessr and have a look at what the blur looks like. And yeah, something else I'm noticing here is this B-type guardrail. It's like flat instead of rounded. Good for Bosnia, maybe Croatia, other countries as well, some Balkan countries. But yeah, I thought I'd never see the day. Small cam in the Balkans. Also, yeah, this was a rare snow coverage. I thought it was winter, but I guess with these leaves it could just be autumn coverage in Bosnia. Yeah, was surprised to see it. I just associate it with summer coverage, but there's some there. And the small cam blur can just look like this. I don't know. It looks to me like the blur is squashed or something, or like you are looking at low cam, but it's still just small cam. I mean, it's easy to tell when you look around and realize this isn't like generation 2 low cam. The quality of the picture is generation 4, you know, it's good quality. Next one, more small cam stuff. I read today on Plonket that small cam is found in all of Northern Europe, even though it seems pretty common in France, the UK, Greece, Turkey. Yeah, I know those last two are Southern Europe, but basically small cams all over Europe now. So yeah, you really have to narrow down the round with other stuff, which is good. You know, don't want to rely on the car so much that your guesses off. What else? So besides Europe, it's found in Brazil, Peru, India, and I think that's about it for now. South Africa, for sure. Argentina. The amount of countries with small cam is rising, so be careful. Okay, eucalyptus trees. This is actually in South Africa. Yeah, eucalyptus trees in abundance are usually found in Australia. There are some in North New Zealand, I think. Saw that recently. But they're also found in South Africa. I think one way to differentiate South Africa from Australia is that you get these fences in South Africa. Fences like this are not really found in Australia from the rounds I've seen. Okay, next one, Spain. So this is something I learnt. They have flat signposts in Spain. So this is flat, I guess. Rounded is the opposite, that you'll find in other countries. These are flat. Yeah. Quite a specific detail to look out for, but yeah, look out for it. Bollards. Let's look at some bollards. Swedish bollards can look like German bollards. Yeah, I've had a few players who I've played against go Sweden on Germany and vice versa. So yeah, these two on the left look very German, but yeah, these are Swedish bollards. Just check the environment, really. They're different in many ways, Sweden and Germany. So, Tunisia. This is a useful one for narrowing down the region. The light green Toyota Google car, follow car, is found here on the map. Everywhere in the northernmost part of Tunisia. Yep. But then the dark green Mazda, different car, even though they look similar, is most common follow car. Yeah, it's the most common in the south, as you can see on the map here. Yeah, so just by the color of the car, you can narrow down where you are in Tunisia. Next one, let's look at road lines. And these are road lines that are rare and somewhat rare in Turkey. Yeah, so this is yellow outer road lines, and then yellow outers as well as a yellow middle as well. Yeah, this feels pretty rare because I've gone South Africa on these rounds thinking it was South Africa. It was actually Turkey. Sometimes these yellow outer lines can be found there, so watch out. Don't know if it's a tip, but I saved this recently. I was thinking, where would there be cows that are like wild? Well, they're not wild. I think this one is tagged with a number. They belong to someone, but this was in New Mexico. So yeah, don't discount the fact that you can find cows out in the wild in different countries. I was trying to think, where would cows be roaming around like this? Didn't really help to think like that, but this was New Mexico, USA. Speaking of USA, I think this bollard was found in New Mexico. I don't know if the Plunkett guide is that accurate with US bollards. I've tried to guess based on the bollards before in the US. It hasn't been amazingly helpful. For example, the Wyoming bollard isn't just found in Wyoming, you know. But yeah, try it out yourself. See if you see this in New Mexico as well. And here we are in the US with front plates. So front plates are required in the white states here, and they're not required in the green states here on this map. So yeah, lots of the southern states, but then also going up here to the Great Lakes and eastern states as well, like Pennsylvania. Is that West Virginia, Appalachian states? Yeah. Rear plate only. This kind of strange blur is found in Vietnam. It's like pointy. I don't know what the vehicle is, but yeah, if you see like a triangular kind of blur, and it looks like an Asian van, consider Vietnam. And finally, Vietnamese poles. I have not learnt them, but they look pretty useful. As you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different poles found in different regions of the country. Let's start off here. Round concrete pole. Then we have this like, it says upside down trapezoids. Yep. Found all over besides this very south. What else? Then we have this kind of pole found max north. This kind of pole found max south. I'm trying to look at the difference between this one and this one because they look similar. Yeah. Then this one found kind of middle. This one found max south. And these bamboo poles found max north. So yeah, a lot of poles in Vietnam can be helpful to learn. So that concludes the video. I hope this helped with anything. Give me your own clues and metas that help you in the game, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Take care. Love you very much. Bye bye.